us another day, only to scream into the night. Nothing ever tries to change, even if I want to realize. 'Cause I've been sitting here, same old ways, taking off without the same mistake. Darling, will you go away? It won't be as simple for you.
Yo, guys. Old Man G here, back again. I'm joined again by the lovely Maisie. Maisie, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. Unfortunately, Manchester United isn't fine, but we're going to park that to one side for now as we do our weekly top 10 Manchester United Players Weekly show. Guys, if you're new to the channel, remember to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Follow us on Twitter, WeUnitedX. Smash the notification button for latest United news and more. And make sure you check out Maze's channel, Devils United. Link is in the description. So for those who are new, this is our weekly top 10 United Players Weekly show where we basically just rank how basically these United players, the top 10 best performers in this Manchester United squad over the last week. In the case of this week, it's going to include the games of Newcastle, Wolves, and Burnley. And we're going to take that into consideration. Obviously, like players have to get into this top 10. So if a player's not done enough to break into this top 10, the top 10 will be fixed and it will stay the same. So let's just let's get into it, Maisie. I mean, this was our top 10 from last time. You know, we had Bailly as 10, Greenwood, Dalot, McTominay 7th, Victor Lindelof 6th, Telles 5th, Sancho 4th, Ronaldo 3rd, Fred 2nd, and David De Gea at the top. If we go with number 10, does that change? I mean, I think Bailly
he hasn't played any of the games, so I would personally have removed him. I would have put Varane in it because
did he not
I
play
think
one of the games. I thought did he not
I
play
thought
against?
he played very well against Wolves, in my opinion.
No, sorry. Did Eric Bailly not play against Burnley? Didn't he?
No, I don't think he did.
So was it Varane and Maguire?
It was a Varane. I'm sure it was a Varane. Oh, he did play against Burnley, but he came off as a substitute because he got injured.
Yes, that was it. I knew it. Yes. He played against Burnley and then we come for substitute. Yeah. Oh, it's a difficult one because because we won that game. And
we did.
We dropped points against Newcastle and he wasn't there. And then we obviously lost to Wolves. I guess the question is there anyone, if Bailly is to drop out of 10, is there anyone that isn't in the top 10 right now that would go in ahead of him? Sorry?
Varane or Cavani?
Varane or Cavani. Okay, yeah. Okay.
That would be who I would personally put in over Eric Bailly, just because he's obviously injured now. He's not going to be playing for a bit. He's played half a game. Yeah. So it's too little to really judge him on when we have seen both Cavani and Varane in there.
Sorry, this is now. Where have you been hiding? I haven't saw you 2 nights in a row on the channel. Who didn't hide last night after that defeat? So I wasn't hiding. I was working. That's where I was. I was working. Might have been Newcastle for Varane Bay. There we go. Question: would you take Joe Linton at Manchester United? I see you're trolling, Niall, but he has been doing well in that Newcastle midfield. I will give you that. So going back to the top 10, so I don't disagree with you, Maisie. I think that Varane and Cavani probably have to come into this top 10 somehow. So there'll be, in fact, let's put them here. Let's bring there's Cavani in, and where's Varane here?
Yeah, So that means we've got to remove one other person there. And the thing is, with Lindelof, he didn't even play any of the games neither.
No.
And it's like we can't drop someone from 6 just to be out straight away neither.
No, exactly. I think Lindelof would. I mean, I'm not going. The thing about there's one player that I'm looking at right here, and I'm like, I love. The thing about McTominay is that McTominay had a really good game against Burnley in number 10 position, but he was crap for both the other 2 games. And honestly, I think he only had a good game because he was playing in that number 8 role, or he seemed to be playing in number 8 role as opposed to him. So
it's because he had a lot more freedom because Wolves were a lot more structured than what Burnley is. Burnley seemed to be all over the place, and I don't know whether it's because for instance, that Burnley hasn't played for a while and they've just lost a bit of a mojo, but and maybe because it was alongside Matic, but he was alongside Matic against Wolves and it was absolutely awful. I think he gave the ball away 6 times in 25 minutes.
Exactly. Oh man. This.
And then you look at Dalot, he's only played he only played against Newcastle and it was shocking.
This is the thing. I mean, I'm getting to the point in this top 10 then that there's not many. Most of these players that I'm seeing over the last 3 games, we're going to struggle to make a top 5, to be honest.
Exactly.
You know, so you might as well pull. I mean, I think that you can't take Lindelof from 6 to out.
No,
just like
maybe
that.
pull Dalot out if I was going to pull anyone out because I wouldn't pull Mason Greenwood out because I think in the games he's played pretty well. But I'd probably more than likely drop Dalot because he had such a woeful game against Newcastle and he hasn't played since. He's played. Wan-Bissaka took his place.
Yeah.
And if I was going to pick out of both of them to be ahead, I would put Cavani over Varane.
Right. Okay. So this is what our things look like right now, and we can obviously make adjustments accordingly. Is there anyone else on this bench that you think? And obviously, for those who are watching, guys, it's interactive. Get involved. Let me know your thoughts are, and we'll address the questions in a second. But is there anyone else? Can you see? I wonder if I'm. Do you want me to magnify this? Maybe I should magnify it a bit. Is that better?
Maybe I should. Yeah, that's a lot better.
Better. Okay.
To be honest, when I'm looking at that, there would be no other people I would personally put on. Bruno only played half a game. The game he played well, but we conceded. Matic, he didn't play that bad to be fair, Matic, but I felt like he obviously made a silly foul on Adama Traore. I couldn't believe that he only got a yellow card because I actually thought it was a red. But he played very well against Burnley. Luke Shaw, he played very well against Burnley, but he was terrible against Wolves. Wan-Bissaka, though, he could be a question for
Wan-Bissaka is a good shout because I do think that, I was saying to a lot of people, I was like, I think that if Wan-Bissaka played against Newcastle, I think we might have won that game because I think that Dalot got bullied a lot during that side and couldn't really deal with Saint Maximin. Whereas I think Wan-Bissaka would have been a lot better at dealing with, and again, defensively. I don't think anyone against Wolves did badly defensively. Even Mr. Jones, who's here, who, to be honest,
Phil Jones over McTominay.
I mean, to be honest, like if we've got a couple of game weeks coming on, and if Phil Jones, because obviously Bay's at AFCON now, so really we only have we have I think Lindelof should be back from the bug. So we'll have Varane, Lindelof, Maguire, and Jones to choose from.
And Maguire's injured at the moment, so we've only got...
Is he? Is that why he didn't play?
Yeah, because he's injured.
What did they say what his injury was?
No, but at the end of the Burnley game, it looked like he had a bit of a knock. And I was actually having questions if he was going to play, but I obviously, when I'd done the preview on this channel, I was going as though like he was still fit.
Yeah, be fit. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so in which case, it probably will be Varane. It's going to be Varane and Lindelof, which I think will be interesting because Lindelof has had a much better season, in my opinion, than Maguire.
By a mile.
Varane is still coming back. So I think, I mean, although to be honest, I didn't really have much of an issue with the defense against Wolves. Even I think the defense was fine. I just think our attacking lineup wasn't particularly good, and that was the big problem um against um against Wolves. But yeah, Phil Jones may actually break in depending on how much he plays. I think United's next game is against Villa in the cup, if I recall.
Yes, Aston Villa in the cup, and then we've got Aston Villa again at their ground because
mm,
we're playing
mm,
at home for the FA Cup, and then we're
mm,
playing at their ground for the Premier League.
Yeah, so I think that's going to be that's going to be. I suspect that Jones will play in the cup, and then I
Yeah,
think maybe Lindelof will play in the. But to be honest, I think we need to go for the cup regardless, because if we
I
don't go for
agree.
the cup, we should play our strongest team, because Steven Gerrard is gonna have a special um um a special vendetta against Manchester United, and he will want to do something, and we need to make sure that we beat them.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't want to sound too negative neither,
yeah,
but I actually think the FA Cup now is probably one of our strongest ways of getting European football because the way we
mm,
are doing in the
mm,
league right now, I
mm,
don't think we've got much chance of getting Champions League football and maybe
mm,
not even Europa League football. So at
mm.
least if we actually done a good shot at the FA Cup and we win it, we know we're guaranteed at least Europa League football.
I mean, to be honest, if you want me to be honest, Maisie, I'd rather we just exit European football completely.
Mm,
Do what Arsenal are doing, like, and actually spend the whole, like, we should, because at the end of the day, we've been pushing for European football. But we've not actually competed in it. Like, our greatest chance was 2 Europa Leagues, which we bottled, and the Champions League. We're not even close to competing. So I'd rather Manchester United just stay out of European competition completely, if it means that if we're going to actually focus on um, forming some sort of an identity and going all out for the league or whatever, because
mm.
we just don't seem to be able to balance both. And at the end of the day, we just seem to be crap in everything. Like, at least go for one, go for the Premier League, and then go for the domestic cups, for example, next
If, for
season.
example, though, we didn't have European football, like,
Mm.
would you think it would be so much harder to actually buy some decent players in the transfer window? Though that is the only concern of mine because look at like who Arsenal have really bought this like in the transfer window. Apart from Ben White, would you ever Aaron Ramsdale? Have you heard of like Tomiyasu as a player? Because I've never even
No,
heard of him.
but to be honest, he's better than our left backs right now. So, and
That is his.
I take Tomiyasu. I take that other guy that they had, that other midfielder. I've forgotten his name. But
Oh, I can't remember what his
yeah,
name.
um,
He signed Odegaard as well, and
yes,
Odegaard had really, really impressed me.
Odegaard's
If you
doing
want me to
well.
be honest,
Even the keeper, Aaron Ramsdale, is been pretty good. So, to be honest, I don't believe that you need to spend, because at the end of the day, we spend millions on players. Sancho's come in 70 something million, big name. I don't think he's done that great. Ronaldo obviously will wait. Um, Varane has probably been I would argue he's probably been the best signing per se, but he's been injured a lot. So I just think that we don't need, even if we don't get European football, like, we just need to be smarter. And that's why Ragnick, for me, should go into the sport directing position, so he can go out and find and work and scout up and coming good talent that can be used into this team. Um, because I don't personally think that he should be the manager going forward. I think that Ragnick should go into the background staff and do what he did at Leipzig, which is rebuild and restructure the philosophy behind the scenes. That's why I believe we brought him, um, not to be the manager, but to focus on doing that. But if it turns out that they just brought him in so he could be the manager, but they still want to keep the same Fletchers and Woodwards and all the rest of it in the background, then for me, like, what's the point? You might as well sack him and then bring in a Pochettino, or bring in, because at the end of the day, you're not changing the philosophy of the club behind the scenes. So, but it is what it is. It is what it is.
mm-hmm.
So are we saying? So we saying that Varane at you know what? Let's have a look. Are we saying Varane at 10 then?
Let me just. When you do look at that, we need to drop a couple of people
We
down.
do. We do.
I would put Mason Greenwood higher. I would. You know what? I probably wouldn't even put Varane. And maybe I would put Varane. Probably leave Varane at 10, and I would put Mason Greenwood a bit higher. I would lower down Scott McTominay as well. I
Let's
probably
put.
put
In fact,
Scott
let's put
McTominay as
some
9th.
9 or even 10 maybe.
I don't know who I put higher because
he did have that. I guess you can't
yeah, that's what I
discount what he
mean.
did against Burnley. You can't discount what he did against Burnley, I guess.
Exactly, that's the only thing. That's the only reason why I want to put him at 9th, because he'd done an absolute blinding game against Burnley, and he played like he was playing against Leeds. So that was the only reason why I said 9th over 10th. And what I probably would do then, I would probably drop Lindelof a couple down because he's not played.
Fine. Okay, so if we do this, sorry, 2 seconds. Fix this in. Ooh. Cool. So let's see. So if we could drop Lindelof to maybe 8 here.
Yeah. And then I would put Mason where 7th, 5th, and then Cavani at 6th for now.
Yeah.
Until we see the rest.
Yeah. That makes sense, yeah. Brand 10, Scott Thompson 9, Lindelof 8, Mason Greenwood 7th, Cavani 6th, and everyone else kind of has the whole bench here. So
I wanted to ask your opinion as well. Do you feel like
on.
Mason Greenwood is actually getting used in the correct position? Because he's getting used like he's a wide player, and he's not a wide player, and I think he's not showing his true potential in that role, what Rangnick has gave him, and I think he's better off playing where Ronaldo and Cavani is.
I agree. I think that I would like to see, if this Ragnick's going to persist with this 4-2-2 formation, then I would like to see Greenwood playing alongside. You know, I would actually like to see Greenwood playing alongside Cavani.
Yeah, they had a really good chemistry last season.
They did. I mean, I would, to be honest, I'd much rather go back to our 4-3-3. You know, with Cavani as a number 9, Greenwood on the right, and then maybe Martial or Rashford on the left. Although you've got Sancho, so I guess you could play Sancho on the right. It's a difficult one. I don't think I think Greenwood is. I think ever since we got Ronaldo, Greenwood has kind of taken and this is not because I don't like Ronaldo, but it's because Greenwood has now been the makeshift player, because we have to fit in Rashford somehow, we have to fit in Cavani somehow, we have to fit in Ronaldo somehow, and Greenwood just seems to be the player. Like even Rangnick said, he was like, I had to take somebody off. Now I don't really understand.
And he didn't want to drop his 6s. He said he didn't want to drop his 6s, so it was out of Cavani and Greenwood, and he decided on Greenwood.
And so, because presumably you can't take Ronaldo off, which is part of a problem, you know. So this is the thing. It's like this is why I love Ronaldo. I love all these players, and it's not on him. But I don't like I've never liked the idea, and this is just not Ronaldo, but any player, that a player is undroppable. If a player is having a bad game, and you've got another player on the bench, you take them off. You know, that goes to Maguire. That goes. There should be no undroppable player, no matter what name they're on, United, and that goes to Maguire, McTominay, Ronaldo, players in this team that, for whatever reason, seem to be classed as undroppable.
I didn't understand why we couldn't take a number 6 off when we had Fred on the bench, because Fred is a pressing player, and I would have preferred to actually take him off for Scott McTominay. We could have even played Donny van de Beek.
I agree.
But the thing is, even if we wanted to play 2 at front, why not try a 4-4-2 formation? Because what we could do, we could have the 4 in defence like we are doing already. Then we've got the 4 in the middle, and they play the 2 like wingers you can use on the left and the right hand side. The 4, and then in the middle we could have like a Matic and Donner. So you could put like on the one side you could have like Bruno, the other side you could have like Sancho, like you are doing at the moment, being used as a wider player. Then up front, your 2 strikers.
Maybe
It
we could
just
do
gives
that.
a bit more. How could I say? Like it gets rid of that kind of gaps in between where the 4-4-2 gives.
Maybe we could do that. Maybe we could do that. But it just appears that I mean, there just seems to be an obsession with Scott McTominay there. I mean, I would have minded him playing Matic and Fred because Fred. I mean, I'm not saying that Fred is great, but like Fred is a good presser and Fred is a good on the ball. So I keep on saying so many times that yes, okay, McTominay is a decent number 8 and can drive the ball, but McTominay doesn't press and McTominay doesn't tackle, win the ball high up. He doesn't do what Fred does. So I personally would have gone with Matic and Fred yesterday. That's the midfield that I would have changed, and then Fred and allow Fred to just go further forward and harass and hurry and all the rest of it. But it is what it is, and I've got no idea what United are going to do going forward because we just seem to be in an absolute mess. So the next 5. Oh, sorry. Let me go into some of his comments because I've not been looking at some of his comments. Let's have a look. Now says, do you think you will get top 4, or do you think United is playing catch up to Arsenal and Spurs?
Catch up.
Yeah, we're not getting top 4. I don't think. I think I've called that off now. Personally, I would say that United should prepare for non-European football the way things are going. Because to be honest, you know, we struggle to beat teams in the relegation zone. So if we, as I said, I think my last show, if we're struggling to beat those teams, what makes us think we're going to beat teams that are better than them, like Wolves? Like I'm worried, like teams like Brighton, so West Ham, all these other teams, like we have no right. So definitely catch up. Phil Jones, for me, is made of glass. He's injury prone, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He did actually have a decent game the other night. He did, and it's good for him being back. Agree,
and everyone deserves a clean slate, as Ragnick has said when he first came to the club. And apart from me, even I think they could have, I thought Matic was going to play as a centre back, and they would have done the McFred. But I think because of these rumours with Phil Jones going to Benfica, I was questioning myself: is that why Phil Jones was playing so they could show Benfica? Yes, he's still got what it takes.
Maybe. Although to be honest, with the way that I'm seeing our centre backs right now, we've got 5 centre backs, and really all of them are injury prone. Maguire probably being the fittest one because Varane gets injured, Lindelof gets injured, Bailly gets
Lindelof's
injured.
been the fittest one for me so far this season. The only reason why he's been out is because of coronavirus. He hasn't been out injured.
I thought he was. Sorry, wait, I'm talking about this season. I thought last season didn't he have like a recurring back injury?
Yeah, he did have a back injury, and that was when I think there was them couple of games where Bailly and Tuanzebe played, and that is why he played. But this season, he's not picked up any injuries at all. It's just the coronavirus.
That's fair. Well, we'll definitely, hopefully, see Varane and Lindelof together coming in. So, and hopefully that will be a good centre-back partnership going forward. Thomas Partey, and Emil Smith-Rowe, good shout to Arsenal. Shout out to the Blue Podcast and Football United TV. Really appreciate it. Big up Red Devil and the legend that is Maisie. Our club needs to clear out. Martial Pogba need to go. Phil Jones will be looked at by Newcastle from last night's performance. That's fair. Jones got injured while in quarantine. How does a player do that? I don't understand. I don't know how he does that.
Speaking of Newcastle, they actually bought Kieran Trippier today. They've got him for 12 million. And we was offered like 40 million for him, and look how much cheaper they got him.
Yeah,
I think that's the kind of what we needed.
I think that's the problem though. A team like United is that what I found is that it's the same thing with was it Morata and a few other players that win for that eventually went to other teams for cheaper because a player wants to leave. A lot of clubs, because they know that United have money and will spend money, will always overcharge for their players because they know that United will pay it or can overpay it. So I understand from Ed Woodward's point of view that the club shouldn't be taken for a ride and constantly overpay for players like Harry Maguire, for example. We overpaid for Harry Maguire. He was an £80 million player, but they knew that we would pay it because it's Manchester United.
And we was desperate for a centre-back because obviously I think our centre-back partnership at the time was Chris Smalling and Phil Jones. or Lindelof.
I mean, at this point, you know, so you have to ask the question: was Phil Jones and Chris Smalling centre back like really that bad? You know,
No.
so you know, you go back, you're like, was it really that bad? Because I don't remember them being, you know, that's the centre back pairing that won the Europa, you know, I think the Europa League, wasn't it? You know, who played the centre back when we won the Europa League under Mourinho? It was
I think
Stephanie
it was
Smalling.
Lindelof. Let me have a look.
It was Smalling and Lindelof, wasn't it?
I'm gonna have a look.
I think it was Smalling and Lindelof because we had Bay at that point and Jones was there.
I can't believe we played Ajax and we won. We won't be able to win now.
No chance because they've developed and we haven't. They've developed and we haven't.
So let's have a see. We actually played Daley Blind in that partnership alongside Chris Smalling.
Okay.
And we have Phil Jones on the bench.
So Daley Blind is doing somewhat well at Ajax. I think we did have to let him go. So, but he's doing well at Ajax. Senior midfielder from Arsenal. You couldn't remember when you said Tomiyasu. Was it Partey, Smith, or Odegaard? No, it wasn't. It was another guy. I think he came from a French club, but I've forgotten his name. But it wasn't those guys. Niall.
I did mention Odegaard, saying I think he's played well though, because I do believe Odegaard has played well, and by the looks of him, I do think he has got the potential to be future Arsenal captain. He's still only very young. That's why I say future.
Let's go. Let's round up these last top five.
Yes, I'm sick of being nice about Arsenal.
Yes. Well, we have to. It seems that we have to because our club is so bad right now that we're paying compliments to so many other players. So let's actually look at these. Sorry, give me 2 seconds.
Yep. So previous midfield from Arsenal it's a really good point that now. I'm really thinking of who Arsenal did buy in that transfer window now. I'm gonna actually have a look who they bought in the transfer window. Summer transfer window 2021. They bought Nuno Tavares, so he's the left back. They bought Lokonga. Is it Lokonga who you're on about? Sambi Lokonga? Is that who?
Yeah, I think Lokonga. That was it. Yes, Lokonga.
Yeah.
It was definitely Lokonga. Right. Sorry, I'm back. Right. Last five. So we had Telles, Sancho, Ronaldo, Fred, and David De Gea. Both Telles and Fred didn't really start, did they?
No, Telles only played for Newcastle, and he wasn't that good. So I'd have to get him dropped, and I'd have to drop Fred as well.
So if that's the case, does Telles go lower then? Do you put Cavani above Telles?
Yes, I do, and I'd even probably put Greenwood over Telles as well.
Telles. Okay. Now you're looking at Sancho here. Sancho might have to go down as well. I think. You might put Sancho to 6th here?
Yeah, potentially, because I actually think Cavani was probably the second best player for this week. Check Cavani out coming on from nothing to second.
Exactly. It's literally like at this point you're like, I think Cavani might sort of be. We literally brought him in and he's gone straight up to second because this is just how bad. And I'm even looking at Varane here. I'm going. Varane played against. I mean,
he played Newcastle and he was very rusty.
Yeah,
he came on as a sub. He came as a sub for Burnley. He didn't do too bad. If, for example, he would have had a clean sheet technically because he obviously didn't concede a goal, but obviously we already conceded at that point. And Wolves, I actually felt like he was the second best player on the pitch after De Gea.
I don't know whether he's done enough to go ahead of because I guess with McTominay, his performance against Burnley, and I guess wants the game. And Lindelof and Telles and all those players did pretty well in the previous week. That wouldn't justify them like going any further down. So maybe okay. I'd keep Varane there at number 10 then.
Yeah.
What do you think? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. Okay. So Mason Greenwood there. So Sancho's dropped. Cavani's there. I think that's okay. I guess the question now is Ronaldo, Fred, De Gea.
I would
You know,
personally put Cavani second and then drop everyone back and Greenwood up. I don't know if put Cavani at second and then drop everyone else down. Apart from De Gea, of course.
yeah. Does Mason Greenwood go ahead of Ronaldo, do you think?
I don't know, because even when Greenwood played, as much as he played well, he was still very greedy on the ball when he was shooting.
Because what did Ronaldo do against? I'm gonna write this remember. What did Ronaldo do against Newcastle? Because
The
that was
same.
Cavani's. Sorry,
He didn't do anything. It was
no,
only Cavani who really done something.
yeah, and then Burnley. Okay, I guess he gave that sort of assist, but it was kind of he did
got an
score.
assist and he
He got an
scored.
assist in the goal, yeah, and against Wolves, not that much. He was isolated. But has he done enough to really drop that further down? I don't think so. Fred, I mean, Fred didn't play that against. Fred did play against Newcastle, didn't he?
Yeah. I didn't think he played that bad, to be honest, from what I remember.
Yeah, and I don't think he played against Burnley. I think that was McTominay and Matic.
Yeah, he only played Newcastle and that was it.
Yeah, so maybe you could make a case that Fred should drop Ronaldo. I guess Ronaldo could go ahead of Fred just from the simple reason that Ronaldo got an assist thing and Fred didn't really play that much. Cavani, I say, agree with you, and then De Gea is still top, isn't he?
Yeah.
You know,
he deserves to be up top as well, to be honest. He's going
I
to
agree.
be contender to be player of the season for Man United.
Yeah. And you know you're in a bad place when your goalkeeper is your man of the match. Like, and you're. I mean, I've been curious. Ever since we start this, I'm going to be curious to see if we're going to have a week where De Gea would be displaced from number one. Because
I actually think no. The only person who I actually think could potentially do that is Cavani, and Cavani will have some thunderbolts if that was the case.
Yeah, no, exactly. He's got to be scoring a hat trick in the Champions League and stuff like that if he's going to displace. Because De Gea is just insane. Someone's door just went there. Yeah, that was mine. Sorry. Ronaldo against Newcastle is better off sitting in the stand with McDonald's and a 99p McFlurry, says Niall. I mean, I don't disagree now. I really don't. This is the thing. This list has been quite painful to do, because if you make a case that most of these players in this top 10 are either there just because one, they're not as bad as people that aren't in the list, or two, because they didn't really feature that much in those games. We can't really take them out, like a Telles and a Fred, for example. They just didn't feature enough. But other people are just, this is bad. I mean, Maisie, what do you think? I mean, this is our list.
Painful, but very, very painful, to be honest. To do it, it was very, very difficult for me as well, just because I just feel like if I could, I would have took them all out, and then I would have just left De Gea and Cavani there.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it might get to the point where if these guys continue to perform badly, then we might actually have to do that. I might just change it to top 10 to top 2 United players weekly. You know, the show will be 10 minutes, and then we'll just put the top 2 players that performed, and it will literally just be these two. I won't do any more than that. I found a player you asking, mate, who Arsenal signed for Lille. Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, it's not Pepe, mate. It's Lukonga, I think. I think
Pepe signed seasons ago, and he's not. He's more of a winger than he is a midfielder. I'm sure it's Lukonga because he signed that in the summer window, but Pepe signed ages ago. Not ages ago, but
and to be honest, once again, it's the same thing with players that cost a lot, because at the end of the day, Like Arsenal sold him for 72, bought him for 72. He's not done anything. And yet they've got Smith Rowe, Saka, and all those players, that they haven't paid, that they barely paid much for. And they're balling, I just think that, United going forward need to think about, instead of getting names, they need to just get players that actually work in that position. I'm sure you can't tell me around Europe that it isn't a defensive midfielder that's better than either Matic, McTominay, or Fred that costs maybe 20 million or less than that, even 50 million. They're clearly there. I mean, I think Zakaria is Zakaria a DM, or is he more of a holding midfield, or is he more of a centre midfielder?
I'd probably say centre.
So, but there's got to be, DMs just around. Like, why do we have to spend 100 million on a centre back or a DM or etc.? And I think a lot of it now I realize it's actually about shirt sales. It's about marketing. It's about, hey, look, you've got Ronaldo playing for us. That's going to market. We're going to make money. It's not really about the chemistry or flow of the team. It's about, selling. Manchester United Football Club are basically like a product. They're basically like McDonald's. Like, it's a heavily marketed product and everyone watches it, but actually it's bad for you. That's basically what Manchester United are. They're the fast food of football. It just, yeah. It's just not, yeah. Jeez. It's a depressing show, isn't it, guys? It's not the one that I wanted to. It's really not. I mean, Macy, I guess we'll round things up, to be honest. So, because I don't think there's much else to say, really, because it's been a bad 3 games. And we should have been talking a lot more. We should be praising players. But
exactly.
It's
and
been
even when I praised him, there was nothing to say anything special about him either.
Exactly. You just kind of were there and maybe scored a goal. That was it.
You was there and you did better than the other 10 people on the pitch.
Yeah. Guys, that's it. Thank you so much for the show. Remember, if you guys are watching, remember to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Check out Devils United, Macy's channel. The link is in the description. Head over there and subscribe. We want to get Devils United to 1K subscribers. We'll be back, obviously, with some previews for the FA Cup round game against Villa and the Premier League games against Villa and more. Have a nice day, everyone, and cheers.
Bye.